People think forests are unsettling because of what might be inside them. But that's not what makes them truly uncomfortable. What stays with people isn't a sound or a shape or something they can point to. It's the quiet feeling that the forest is somehow aware of their presence. Once that feeling starts, nothing feels obviously wrong. The path still exists. The trees still stand where they should. But everything feels slightly different, as if the space around you is paying attention in a way it shouldn't. This took place near a forest locals preferred not to walk through after sunset. Not because of stories or legends, not because anything visibly bad had happened there, but because people who entered often returned unusually quiet, as if they struggled to explain what they had experienced. Some said the forest felt unfamiliar, even though they had walked those paths many times before. Others mentioned that time seemed harder to measure there. Minutes felt longer. Distances felt unclear. And familiar landmarks didn't bring the same sense of reassurance they once did. Everything appeared normal. The trail was visible. The air was calm, light filtered through the trees the way it always had. Then, slowly, the sounds began to fade. There were no birds overhead, no distant rustling, no signs of movement beyond one's own footsteps. The silence wasn't sudden or dramatic. It settled in gradually, like something being turned down rather than switched off. That was when many people noticed a strange sense of awareness, not fear, not panic, just the impression of being noticed without knowing by what. Some visitors began to feel as though the trails themselves were unfamiliar. Turns appeared where they didn't remember any. Clearings felt slightly narrower. Trees seemed closer together than before, as if the forest had quietly shifted while no one was paying attention. A few people mentioned hearing echoes of movement moments after they stopped walking. Not loud enough to be alarming. Not clear enough to identify, just enough to make them pause and listen. Unsure whether the sound came from behind them or deeper within the trees. What unsettled people most wasn't getting lost. It was the impression that the forest was subtly influencing their direction. Not forcing them to go anywhere, not blocking their path, simply encouraging certain routes while making others feel less inviting. Some described an urge to keep walking, even when they planned to stop. Others felt drawn toward areas where the lights seemed slightly dimmer, without understanding why. It wasn't a command. It felt more like a suggestion that was easier to follow than to resist. Eventually, everyone found their way back. There were no dramatic escapes or sudden realizations, just a quiet return to familiar ground, often accompanied by a strong sense of relief that was difficult to explain. But very few chose to return to that forest again. Not because they believed something dangerous was waiting for them, but because the place no longer felt neutral. locals say the forest still feels different, as if it quietly remembers those who passed through, not in a threatening way, just with a lingering presence that never fully fades. And even now, when the light shifts between the trees and the wind falls still, there's a sense that the forest is patiently aware of who enters and who leaves.